We got, of course, later today, the State of Play is happening, and this is announced kind of, out of the blue on Monday. So we'll get into the actual details here. State of Play returns this Thursday, August 6th. So this is from the PlayStation blog. State of Play returns Thursday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So it's going to be 40 minutes long. A focus on upcoming PS4 and PSVR games. A few quick check-ins on third-party and indie games from June's PS5 showcase. No big PS5 announcements. And I have this little disclaimer here about when we should see a PS5 announcement. This one, I guess when they announced the State of Play, I was a bit rubbed the wrong way where I was thinking, okay, we're getting some actual, we can get a release date, we can get pre-orders in, but this is not focusing on PS5 content. Were you at all bothered that we're still not getting that?
So because I didn't really understand what they said. So when they said no big PS5 announcement, does that mean they're not showing any PS5 games they've already announced, or is it just they're not saying anything new about the PS5?
That's true, because the way they word it, no big PS5 announcements. They don't say nothing related to PS5. They just say no big announcements, whether it's maybe they're trying to put people at ease, no pre-orders here, but maybe they do end the show on a one more thing kind of situation where they show off some more PS5 or games related to PS5. But it seems like the focus isn't on next-gen stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, they could just be lying as well.
They could.
Is it like they could? That is also a possibility. They could just be completely lying to make it because I mean the amount of times that there's been a state of play and whatever it's showing has been leaked like the day before, like with Resident Evil 3, like they were meant to show that, and even when you watched it a state of play you could see how secretive it was meant to have been, but we already knew what it was. So I mean it could be, but I mean I think focusing on PS4 games is a good idea. I've heard that there's apparently going to be Spiderman, Miles Morales gameplay, and maybe a Silent Hill thing, but I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I'm just looking forward to seeing some games. Really, I mean, I think that's just how it's starting to feel now. I'm just excited to see anything, to be honest. I don't mind about seeing, certain things, or I'm not waiting on anything. I mean, obviously, I want to see the release date and the price, but just give me 40 minutes of games and that'll do me.
That's fair. I was more I was angry the fact that we still don't have PS5 news. And
flipping
so when
tables.
So when I saw that initial image when I woke up, it's like, oh sweet, and nope, no PS5 announcements. Come on. But and then I have this little disclaimer. So Bloomberg was talking about this recently. Bloomberg says a PlayStation official who remained anonymous as the plan isn't public explained that Sony tentatively, why can I not pronounce that? Tentatively. There we go. Plans to make its next announcement in August. So we will see some PS5 stuff, and you have to imagine we can't leave August without getting a release date and actual like price confirmed, if not pre-orders. But it looks like there may be another state of play after this that will focus on actual PS5 stuff.
Yeah, I think I think I get it why you and some other people are annoyed, because it is August and this state of play has been hyped before it was even announced for these kind of things. So I do definitely get that, and obviously there is a very small part of me that is like, oh, it would have been cool to, because they've already said that they haven't even announced all of their PS5 launch library or anything, so there are a lot of games they're still yet to announce. So I do understand that, but because what might happen is it might happen, and then every single thing they show might look awful, and then I'll be like, oh, that was crap. But just from knowing that they're showing games is like enough for me to get excited for. But yeah, I can see why it is kind of annoying for them not to say anything. But yeah, you'd imagine August, some point this month, there's got to be a price. I mean, it's getting pretty ridiculous now. If worst case scenario, the console comes out in December, but you'd still probably imagine it'd be November. I mean, it's 4 months away. It's just madness. I don't know how they're going to get all the because there's going to be a huge amount of pre-orders. They're going to have to then sort them all out within like a few months, and yeah, it's going to be absolute madness. But hopefully Sony know what they're doing. Fingers crossed, and it'll all work out all right. Hopefully by Christmas we'll have no more COVID and PS5s as well.
Dang, yeah, that's I can only hope and pray that happens, but yeah, that's awesome. Now, as far as like what we think they're going to show today, I did pull this from Push Square, so they had kind of some thoughts compiled together. So as far as Activision, they have that deal with Activision, or they have a pretty buddy relationship with them. Do we see some stuff from them? COD Black Ops hasn't been officially announced yet. They've been lightly talking about it. Do we see something from them there that is, next gen release as well as current gen? So this could be their PS4 focus on the next Call of Duty. Maybe they show it there. There's also Crash 4, which we've seen that initial announcement. Maybe we see some more gameplay or some kind of details there. Then there's that Tony Hawk 1 and 2 remaster. So there's things they could focus that are coming out for PS4 that I guess we forget about, that is still something they could focus on.
Yeah, I think those 3 games are pretty much definites. I think they're pretty. I mean, you could bet your house on all 3 of those being in state of play, I'd imagine. I mean, especially Crash and Call of Duty. Call of Duty being probably one of the last PS4 games that Sony are actually going to focus on, in terms of but like that date range, because we know that they're going to try and push everything to PS5 now. Crash, I completely forgot about that. That comes out next month, right? October.
I want to say September, but maybe October. Yeah,
September even. Yeah, I don't even know what the dates are anymore.
Right.
I've forgotten what the months are. But yeah, so that would make sense. Tony Hawk as well. I think that's still very likely to be shown, but I think out of them all, I think that's probably the least likely to have anything. Although I did see an announcement recently about them updating the soundtrack, like adding loads and loads of bands and songs. So that could be a fun way to show off a new trailer, show off some new tracks and things like that. But yeah, I think those 3 are all pretty much a given. I think we can definitely expect to see them. And I think when you look at that as well, you look at those 3 games, you think, they don't need to really show anything PS5, to be honest, because that's 3 big things there. And that'll be a big chunk of the state of play.
I wonder, it's one of the stories at the end here, like the PS4 sales, they released some updated data on just where they are with total PS4 sales. Is it smart to focus on PS4 because are you still trying to sell these units, or do you focus everything to PS5? But with PS4 selling so well, maybe you do, but it's like, is there any kind of effort to try and like sell more units? But we're at the end of this cycle, so I guess there's part of my mind that finds it interesting to even focus on PS4 at this late in the game. But there are still titles coming out for it, so you want to try and sell it, while you can. But I guess it's just more for that.
I think multi-platform games will still come to PS4. I just don't necessarily think Sony will market them very well or very much or anything like that. Because, I mean, let's face it, they already don't market their own games now. I mean, games like Medieval, Destroy Humans, that Concrete Genie game, they got absolutely nothing from PlayStation at all. So it wouldn't surprise me. But also, if you just look at the staggering amount of PS4s that are out there in the wild, they don't need to market their games, because even if Xbox or Nintendo are marketing a game that's coming out on PS4, that's all Sony need, because it's not like, your Joe Smith has got his PS4 and he sees an Xbox advert on the TV for a game that, like the new Call of Duty or whatever. He's still going to buy that on his PS4. He's not going to be like, oh, PlayStation didn't advertise that kind of thing. So I just feel like they're just going to pour all of their resources into the PS5 as soon as it's out, really. So I think that this could, I do honestly feel like it's going to be quite an abrupt message sort of stop that Sony can do, especially I think the branding of the actual machine itself is so distant from the PS4 that you're not going to see things like the Xbox do, where they'll be like, this is out on Xbox, and they'll show a picture of every single Xbox console or whatever. I don't think PlayStation can do that kind of thing. I think when the PS5's out, it's PS5 stuff, and then PS4 stuff can just roll on and do what it needs to do.
I think you're right. Yeah, they definitely, as far as the 2 different juggernauts, Microsoft and Sony, they're taking different approaches. So Microsoft really is trying to create this ecosystem where you can play anywhere, and PlayStation's going, nope, it's PS5 or bust, and we're moving forward. And so it's, whether it rubs you the wrong way or it's something you want, that is, I think, the direction you're going. You're right. So let's the next one here is a RE8 trailer. So it is one of the articles we have pulled up later as well, but there is a lot of hubbub that we're going to see them focus on Resident Evil 8. It was kind of shown off in that PS5 conference as a next-gen game, but I think it's absolutely fair that we're going to see this on PS4, we're going to see this on PSVR, so maybe they focus on that for this state of play.
Yeah, Yeah, I think definitely. I think that's another one that could. I think maybe we'll get. We didn't get a release date before, did we?
I don't think so. No.
No, so I think this could be a release date trailer, maybe a bit of gameplay, something like that. That could be cool. And also another one was Elden Ring. I don't know because that's meant to be coming out on PS4.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know, but I also have a feeling that that's got some Microsoft something to do with it.
It's
So I don't know
possible.
whether that's. I might have just completely made that up off the top of my head, but I know that it's coming on PS4. So and if this is showing PS4 games, there's only so many that you can really think about, and Elden Ring is one of the big ones.
Yeah, there's some games where I wonder if you heard it by showing off the current gen model versus the next gen model. So, or like a release of it. So I wonder with Elden Ring, that one has been really pushed as like a next gen experience. And yeah, I think it will come out on PS4 or current gen. But I wonder if when you show that at the gate, you want to show here's the best way it looks, you know. So I don't know if they show it here or they mentioned it's not like it's they're not gonna have PS5 announcements, just no big one. So maybe they do show off gameplay there. I'm not sure, but I wonder how they actually decide to reveal this stuff.
Yeah, well, I'd imagine that maybe they would show the trailer and it would say like playing on a PlayStation 5, but then at the end it will say coming to PS4 and everything. So I think they'll show with the trailer they'll show the best possible version of it, because they want to entice people into getting PS5s, but just by slapping that PS4 logo on at the end, people are gonna be like, that looks great, I'll get it on PS4. And we've seen games like Ghost of Tsushima, we've seen games like Last of Us 2. Granted, they're exclusive, so they should be able to get the most out of the hardware. It shows how versatile these systems can be and how far they can be pushed. I think it's a good time now to show these nice looking games because we've all been spoiled by Ghost of Tsushima, Last of Us 2. So I think everyone will see these games even if they're running on PS5 and be like, yeah, I can imagine my PS4 playing,
Right.
not going to space.
Although apparently they do that with even current gen games, but yeah.
Yeah.
Now this next one here is maybe more of a out of left field or prediction, but the PS4 base model price drop. So right now it's currently MSRP in the US is $299 is like it's the standard price still. Now Xbox has, if not drop prices, I know they've it's been in the news where they've dropped production on like the original Xbox. They're only doing the S. They're not even doing the all digital one anymore. So they're already shifting to kind of focus on next gen. Do we see PlayStation drop the price and kind of shift towards PS5? I wonder if there's any attempt to drop the price this summer.
Yeah, I think that could definitely be on the cards. So it's quite weird. I think with games consoles, especially as they get towards the latter state, even in fact, to be fair, even like the last couple of years, so even like a year or so ago, they end up making a big like second hand or used marketplace, don't they? So like you can buy a new PS4 Slim now for £249, or you can get a used one or a used PS4 for like £130, and it's been like that for a couple of years now. So I think that as soon as the price drops, which obviously it will, I think those used marketplaces will get even more ridiculously cheap a bit later as well. So it's going to be really cool. It's just going to be for the people who haven't been able to afford to game, or they've always for financial reasons they've always had to be a generation behind or two generations behind. This is the time where they can get in and have all these amazing games to play in front of them. I mean, imagine not having a PS4, getting one, then having games like God of War and Horizon and Spiderman and Last of Us and all these games to experience. So, it's an exciting time when things like this happen for those of us who aren't as fortunate to keep up with the trends.
Yeah, I think you're totally right, and that's a interesting side of it where you think, okay, we're at the end of this cycle. Should we even push? That was my thought, just minutes ago. Should we even push a PS4? But really, there are people that haven't adopted yet, or there's PC players or Xbox players where if you can drop the price on the PS4 dramatically and have all these titles that have you've been only able to play there, why not jump in for a very low price and still have your Xbox that you're playing or your PC? And also with that group, the people that just haven't been able to afford it, and now you have these amazing titles. So it's like, yeah, why not push at the last moment to try and get everyone on in this ecosystem, and then those people are adopted, and maybe they're more likely to buy PS5 as well. So there is argument to really push this at the end of the cycle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. And it's it'll just sort of pick up those, like I said, the sort of minority that for whether it's financial reasons or whether it's just you haven't been too bothered, so you've been waiting for like a more suitable price. Yeah, I think it's cool because I think a lot of people as well don't like buying used. So even though you can buy a PS4 secondhand for like £100, like, and you have been able to for about a year or so, I think some people just like to buy them new, have them brand new. You know, there's something about opening that box and having it feel inherently yours as well. You know, games consoles are quite personal things. So I mean, I still sometimes think about my PlayStation, which I sold to a friend, my launch day PS4. I do sometimes think about him every now and then, but
when you're tossing and turning at night, you're just thinking,
cool.
what happened to that old PS4?
Yeah, yeah. I wonder if he still spits out discs for no reason.
Do you think it's insane for them to drop another slim model, like another like just stripped down, or even like a PS4 Pro Slim or something like that is, or has stuff bundled in? Like, do you think there's room for another SKU, or they just kind of drop the price altogether?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there really is, to be honest. I mean, we're so close now to the next generation. I just
now
think...
PS3 had 3 iterations, right? Because you had the weird round one at the beginning, then you had that slim down, then you had another slim. So I wonder if they try that. But although the PS4 Pro kind of throws everything out of whack, so I wonder.
Yeah, was the third PS3 slim? Was that the one? It didn't have like a...
No, it had the open, like from the top, tray.
Yeah, it had like an actual tray. Yeah, that was a very strange time. Because even then, because the PS3 came out and it was all disk drives, wasn't it? It was all, no more disk trays, no more. I mean, the 360 had a tray, but so when that came out, like the last version of it, and it had a disk tray, everyone was like, "What?" So strange. But yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if we saw another iteration. I think it would definitely be a Pro Slim because the Pro is quite beefy. But yeah, I mean, I don't know who that'd be for. Again, maybe people who want to make a jump from their base PS4 to something better, but they can't afford the PS5. But yeah, I don't know whether just the sheer size of the Pro is worth making another iteration of it for. I think that came out when they were already iterating on the base PS4, so I think it's already kind of pretty good. But yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. But yeah, I don't think it's something that's necessary.
Gotcha. Yeah, you're right. I mean, that's more likely. I'm just wondering if we do see another, or maybe years from now, there is another Slim as the PS4s keep selling, like they kind of do a different model. But yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, good way to try and reach that PS2, which they will never reach. try and sort of climb higher in that sales chart.
Yep, exactly.